Here we're live. Good morning, everyone. This is Joe McDonald, and I have Justin with me here. And this is Help Desk with Joe. Usually, Justin and I, we have the easy job of just showing up, but Dave's out this week, so it's just the two of us taking over. So, Justin, how are you?
I'm doing well. We've done this once before, right?
Yeah, once or twice.
It didn't go too terribly bad, so
no.
I think we're all right.
Well, we did a lot better after you figured out which to turn our headphones on.
Yeah, I'm back from a little bit of traveling when saw my cousin get married, so did a little bit of a extensive road trip test with the new phone, which we'll get into later. See how the battery life held up, the new pictures, taking pictures of the California coast, all that sort of stuff. So
yeah, so you took a trip to California
Yep.
and didn't take Dave and I along. So for one, I'm jealous. I can't speak for Dave, but I'm sure he's in the same boat as me.
Yeah.
And why did you decide to come back? I mean, with the pretty weather out there, why?
Well, part of it, didn't want to get fired. That was part of it.
Well, work remote. You know, you might know a tech guy that can get you set up for at least a little bit.
I should have thought of that.
So this is Help Desk with Joe. So if you're new to the show, we cover tech news that covers most of the stuff that most people find important in the technology world. There's a lot of news that goes on, and a lot of it is for nerdy people like myself, but some of the stuff that's actually important to most people, it kind of slips through the cracks because at that point it's just noise to a lot of people. So
yeah, kind of simplifying some of the things that may appear real techy at first and making it real easy for people to understand.
Yeah. Take the technical jargon and go, look, here's why it's actually important when someone says, well, I don't need to know that. No, you do.
If you use your phone or whatever technology you're using, and you don't want to compromise your security or things like that, yeah.
Yeah, if you use anything more sophisticated than a light bulb, yes, this applies to you. And although those are even getting smart nowadays, so...
Light bulbs are getting hacked now. So.
All right, so Justin, are you ready for us to jump into the first news story here?
Yeah, looks like I wrote them down here. iPod is the first one.
Yes. So if you ever owned an iPod, and Justin, I'm going to ask you, did you ever own an iPod?
I did. Yep.
So which one did you have, or which ones did you have?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. It didn't have a color screen, so if that tells you anything.
Okay, so you had one of the old school had
a wheel,
push button clicker.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't use it a whole lot just because there's, so much. I don't know, such a process to get it loaded up that didn't sync. Nothing was ever going to sync wirelessly or anything like that. So
yeah, it was always a chore.
Yeah.
But at the time, we didn't know any better,
mm-hmm.
so there was no better way. So you just kind of sucked it up and dealt with it.
Yeah, I was in that era where in between CDs and iPods, both were out at the same time, and people were using both there for a while.
Right. Yeah, I had the iPod Touch, and I don't remember which model it was. Actually, I found it the other day, digging out a bunch of junk, and it was one of those I was almost tempted to fire it up to see if it even still worked. It was one of the old ones that had like the big fat 30-pin connector.
Right.
And I almost wanted to fire it up just to see what I can still make worth with it. I was like, you know what? I can't find the charger for it. I'm not even going to go try. It could just stay there for nostalgia factor, but
yeah, they had one that was like very thin, almost looked like a large USB stick or something.
Yeah, I think
that might have been a mini or no?
Mini or a nano or something. Yeah.
Yep. Well, with all the different colors you could get.
Well, as Justin and I are sitting here reminiscing, at this point, as of yesterday, Tuesday, May 10th, that's all we will be doing from here on out as far as the iPod goes. So, last October marked 20 years of the iPod. It's a remarkable run in a cutthroat, always changing world of consumer electronics. And while it's undoubtedly true that life hasn't been particularly fruitful for the music player in a product lineup that includes various iPhones and iPads, the beloved music player has somehow managed to hang on until yesterday. So Apple announced yesterday morning that the iPod is officially dead. That is, as much as a particular gadget can ever be dead. Rather, it will shuffle off of this mortal world slowly, remaining for sale while supplies last. So if you are considering purchasing one for any reason, buy now or forever hold your peace.
For some reason, yeah, you're like, oh my gosh, I need to get one of those.
Yeah, part of me is going, well, you had a good run, 20 years. You lasted a whole lot longer than the Zune.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of the coin, it's going, I'm almost tempted to buy one just to put on the shelf.
Yeah. Put it in here on the.
Yeah, put it on our collectible shelf here. So when somebody says, "What's that?" That is the very last iPod that was ever made. And then we get to be like the old man and the kids gather around. Gather around, kiddies. I'll show you what a music player used to be.
Yeah.
Back in my day, we had to plug this into a computer. And we had to download songs, and it took all day, and we liked it.
An iPod, it never had an option to stream anything. It was always you download on your computer.
Yeah, I mean, you could always download. Now, when the Touch came out, you could download Pandora, Spotify, stuff like that, and stream that way. But as far as like the iPod itself, there was not. You had to put your music on there yourself.
Right.
And one thing I never fully wrapped my head around was with the iPod Touch, you always had that screen and you had a menu. With the Nano, you just had buttons. So you basically, correct me if I'm wrong with this, Justin, but with the ones that you just had the button, you just loaded the songs you liked and you pushed play, right? You didn't get a sync screen to set up like a playlist and all that. It was just kind of all or nothing, and that was it.
Mm-hmm. There may have been some sort of shuffle play, but that was about it.
Yeah, that was about as far as fancy bells and whistles go.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go on Apple's site right now just to see if I can still buy the iPods. Justin, I think we missed our opportunity.
We're out of luck. Oh, man.
Yeah. There's literally everything but. Let me go on Best Buy.
It seems like where smartphones got more and more, internal storage, at some point it just did not make any sense to have a separate physical device.
Right.
To store your music, especially when.
Yeah, because you had an all-in-one deal. I have good news. Now, don't tell Dave I was on Best Buy because he'll want to know where his phone is, but Best Buy still has iPod Touches in stock as of right now. So the cheapest nostalgia gift you can get right now, Justin, for nostalgia value is $229.99 for a 32 gig.
200?
Yes.
I had to register that for a second.
I heard the pause and I'm going, I think I just stunned him.
Yeah, I was stunned.
Yes, for the low price of $229.99, you can get a 32 gig iPod.
Which isn't a crazy amount of
storage. No.
That's a lot of songs, but
once you start adding apps with that takes no time.
Yeah.
Of course, now this might have been part of Apple's setup. It's like, you know what? If we just keep putting the bare minimum of specs into this, eventually people will quit buying it. We can just go, oh, sorry.
I guess it kind of adds up to a lot. I mean, you get over 200 songs with 1 gigabyte, so multiply that by 30. So that's a lot of songs. But
yeah, it's quite an extensive music library.
Some folks out there, their song list is much bigger than that, though.
Yeah, I'm not a huge music junkie. I mean, I stream a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'll stream more than I actually have, but going through my music library, I was like, wow, I had way more songs than I thought I did. I mean, it kind of shocked me because I stream everything. So I rarely go through my catalog, and I was like, wow, I actually had more songs than what I realized. It was surprising on my part.
I think an iPod could have its place. I don't know, if you're at a wedding. I got weddings on the brain since I just got back from one. But I don't know, you have just an iPod over there playing on shuffle just background music for an event or something, so that you're still able to have your phone and do whatever, and you can just kind of set it and forget it.
Right.
Put an iPod, hook it up to a speaker, and then just forget about it.
Right, because with an iPad, you can do the same thing with an iPad, but with the iPad, it's bigger, it takes up more real estate. With the iPod, you literally just set it down, and it'll play, and it's out of the way, and it's not cumbersome.
Maybe more battery life.
Right.
Because it's not doing as much.
Right.
It has one job.
And it did it well for 20 years.
Yeah. And now it's going into golden years and retiring.
Yeah, it's just like everything else. Your job has been taken over by a computer.
Yeah.
Wait, but you were a computer.
A smarter computer.
Yeah, a faster one.
Yep.
So, hats off to the iPod. You did your job well, and I'm anxious to see if Apple in a couple years does like this retro nostalgia kickback deal and just brings it back on the shelf just because. So stay tuned on that. Next up, Apple AirTags. So Justin, we converted you over to Android.
Yep. Just recently. Yeah.
So did the move to Android want you to go ahead and buy some AirTags while you was at it?
No.
Just to keep on that last grasp of Apple?
No. And you saw me carrying around for a day or two my old iPhone just in case. I thought I might need to go look at something. I don't think I'm ever going to have to do that again, but just that initial switch, I wanted to make sure everything had all my contacts.
Hey, I cannot knock you for that because I have done that firsthand myself. So that's just smart because I have some people, they just move everything over to the new one. It's like, I'm done with the old one. And then literally they'll forget something and, well, I wish I had my old one back, or oh, I didn't think to move that over. I didn't think I needed it. But you did the right thing, and I didn't have to tell you to do this.
Yeah.
So I was proud. I was like, good job, Justin's on the ball here, because you walked in the studio and was pulling two phones out of your pockets. Like, you just moved phones, didn't you?
Yep. Yeah, just the service switch too. It took a little bit. It took 30 or 40 minutes, and just the idea of not having an actual working phone for a day was like, well, I better have both.
Yeah, that always gives me stress and anxiety when I hear, well, this could take up to 12 hours to move. And it's like one of those, if I didn't use my phone for my business, I could say, fine, I don't care. But when I'm out trying to work, I need that line of communication.
Yeah.
And it's one, and I'm not one of these people that I have to have my phone at all times. Because I just like talking on the phone and texting. I could care less. But, for my business, I have to have that line of communication. So for me, it gives me a little anxiety when I hear it could take up to 12 hours. And then when it takes 15 minutes, I'm dancing in the street, basically.
Yeah, because the idea of having to call tech support, you're like, gosh, please just work.
Yeah, well, and what's bad
the SIM card switch, just be seamless.
That's all I ask. Nothing fancy, just work.
Yeah.
But I just had to recently move, since Cena and I were Sprint customers, we've had to move our stuff over to T-Mobile, and that's been a little bit of a mess. I mean, it's not been bad, but like Cena, they sent us SIM cards, and on the SIM card, it said all you had to do was take your old SIM out, put your new SIM in, go to this website, punch in some information, and boom, it works.
Yeah.
Cena did it, and literally the last step said, oh, sorry, it didn't work. You have to call us now.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's just perfect. So much for seamless and effortless.
Yeah, it seems like going from one carrier to... I did a switch from all on AT&T, but going from two totally different ones, it seems like there's potential for something to go wrong, but...
Well, but the thing of it is, you would think when the one company owns both parties, that it should be seamless.
Is that the case?
Well, that's where it went on Cena's. It said, you need to please call us. It's like, really? You bought out Sprint, you own Sprint, you sent us the paperwork to tell us how to move from the company you bought, and yet you're saying it's seamless, and now it's not.
Yeah.
But working in the tech world, I can't bash T-Mobile over the head too awful bad with that. I just found it ironic and funny.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can have 100 devices lined up doing the exact same thing, running updates and all that, and I guarantee you 99 out of 100 will work flawlessly, and that for whatever reason, that 1 out of 100 will just go, nope, just because it can.
So yeah, what's going on with the AirTags?
Oh, so...
We've had bad stories on here before.
Oh, and it doesn't get any better now.
Being used, for people who don't know, just a little tracking device that Apple decided to make.
Yeah, Apple said, hey, we don't track our customers enough, so let's pitch them on the idea of these AirTags, and all you have to do is attach this to anything, and when I say anything, I mean literally anything, including things that you don't even own, and you can track it wherever it goes.
Yeah, just a little round thing, almost from like a spy movie, basically.
Yeah.
You'd
So
stick on somebody.
this was every stalker and creeper's dream come true. It's like, as Dave says, bloody brilliant.
Yeah. Just a little thing I could drop in Joe's pocket and then just watch where he goes the rest of the day.
Yeah, and I'd never be none the wiser. And my luck, I'd pull it out of my pocket and go, where'd that come from? And just throw it down somewhere, and it probably would be at the house when I would clean up my pockets at the end of the day. And you know, on the plus side, I wouldn't be tracked, but on the negative side, now, if Justin didn't already know where I lived, he would then know where I lived.
Yeah. I guess in their minds they thought someone might want to have this in their purse in case somebody stole their purse. I don't know, but then they could just throw it out of your purse, and I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those. It looked good on paper, but here you and I are in reality going, time out, hold up.
Yeah.
So you're selling portable tracking devices that literally anybody can use for literally anything, and you think this is and you don't think anything bad can happen.
So yeah, then they kind of scrambled and added a feature to phones to let people know, hey, there's a device close by to you. Hope you, just for your information, there's a tracking device near you.
Well, and here's where it gets funny. That feature that you're talking about, that's what we're having troubles with now.
Yeah.
So, Apple AirTags are now sending a new kind of false alarm. So, the AirTags have been sending out phantom alerts that are confusing iPhone users, according to a new Wall Street Journal report. That was easy to say. The AirTags, which launched last year, featured anti-stalking measures later after the release. I added that myself because Apple wants you to, and they can think like, oh, this was part of the whole idea. No. So after people started using them for ill intentions, they added anti-stalking measures that were designed to alert users when an unknown AirTag has been detected on their person over an extended period of time. The idea is to discourage AirTags from being used to track people without their consent. The Wall Street Journal reports that these false alerts generally occur in the middle of the night and have started popping up in recent weeks. When a person receives an unknown AirTag alert, they're supposed to see an accompanying map where and how long the AirTag was detected on their person. These false alarms, however, are accompanied by maps depicting several straight lines radiating from a person's location. If you've ever seen an unknown AirTag alert, this is highly unusual and seems to indicate a bug in their system. It's unclear how prevalent this particular false alert is, though this isn't the only type of false alarm a person may experience. While testing AirTag safety features, people have been reporting similar issues and saying that their own AirTag was stalking them. So, Apple, in their infinite wisdom, sold this moronic idea. They'll kill the iPod, but they let this thing stay on the shelf. I don't get it.
Yeah.
So now, their software is giving out false alerts saying, hey, in the middle of the night, hey, there's a tracking device tracking you that is not yours. So you either get that alert, or the AirTag that you did buy and are using for legitimate purposes is saying, hey, there's an AirTag tracking you. Really? So it's like this bad idea just keeps getting worse. But literally, we said what else could be wrong, and and Apple says, "Hey, watch this."
It just has to send it in the middle of the night too. That's great.
Yeah, and doesn't give you an exact location, just gives you squiggles. It's like, perfect. Let's not only freak people out, let's confuse them on top of it.
Yeah.
It's like a game of Where's Waldo.
Oh man.
Like, I have hidden AirTags somewhere on Earth that could or could not be a tracking device for you. And it may or may not be your tracking device.
Yeah. Yeah, let's take a technology that probably historically has always, it's been around, but it's probably been prohibitively expensive and only used by certain people and get available on certain sites. Let's make it available to the masses, just relatively cheap for anyone to become a spy, basically, if they want to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's tell the people that they can use it to keep an eye on their, belongings, their purses, their wallets, stuff like that. But if a bad guy uses it, well, nobody will use it for bad reasons.
Maybe if you had a dog that loves to like bolt and run away into the neighborhood, it might be good to have a little device on them.
Yeah.
There's a couple okay uses of it, I think, but
yeah, so
it's like anything else, people will find a way to use it for something
exactly
bad.
I mean, so on the list of dumb things to sell, AirTags has made my top list. So if you have an AirTag, and here's my big beef with it, is, and of course the initial stuff we've talked about, but now it's causing the people to panic of, okay, this alert I'm getting, is it legit? Is it not? Is someone actually tracking me, or are they not? Or did I buy AirTags and the notification is giving me, is it my AirTag that is giving a false positive on, or did someone actually slip one in? So now you've caused more chaos, more confusion, more paranoia to an already sketchy, possibly scary issue.
Yeah.
So I know Apple, if they do listen, they won't care. They don't care what we think, but at this point, Apple, you should just make those things disappear and go, you know what? It didn't work out. We tried.
Make them go the way of the iPod.
Yeah. Send it when you're sending the iPods to the cemetery. Make the AirTags the pallbearers and throw them in with it.
Yeah. I can see it just causing too many problems and having to go away.
Yeah, I mean, at what point does Apple just go, you know what? Yeah, we screwed up. Let's just cut bait while we still can. I mean, they're still just dragging this down the road. It's like,
have they been out for a couple of years or?
They were just released last year.
Yeah.
So I mean, they haven't. Well, let me see when the actual release date was.
Yeah, they may not have a 20-year run like iPod. They might not make it past 2 years.
I'm gonna say they might make a 20-month run.
Yeah.
April 30th. So literally, it's been 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no! I told you wrong. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. April 30th, 2021. So congratulations on the 1 year anniversary of AirTags. You've done a bang up job for this last year.
Yeah. They wonder. I mean, what are folks' options if they get one of these weird messages? Does it? You just get the message with no follow up as to click here for more info, or
no? That's what's scary is there's literally, because the map's not working.
Mm-hmm. So,
and I'm just waiting for that call from a customer saying, "Hey Joe, I got this weird notification about an AirTag," and when I ask him about, was there a map and all that, and I'll get, I don't know, or no, there were just lines. So then that puts me in a tough spot of saying, there's a chance that it could be fully false. So I guess my point of advice would be, if you have someone else in your home that has an iPhone as well, have them come to the same spot as where you were when that notification went off, and if there is a true AirTag there, it should alert them as well.
Mm-hmm.
Keyword should.
Mm-hmm.
Only time can tell.
For like Android users like us, what do we have to download a special app or anything to
Yeah.
be able to scan for spy devices around us?
Exactly. Yeah. Apple makes an AirTag app for Android that for our security that we have to download ourselves. So we have to download another app on our phone that we don't need and will never use, just to make sure somebody's not following us around.
I think we should pick a couple AirTags up and just track Dave for a week and then let him know that we tracked him. It could be a special on the show. Revealing to Dave we've been tracking him for a week.
Yeah, because he says his life's not that interesting.
Yeah.
Let's call him out on it. Well, Dave, we seen you at the grocery store for 47 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And you said you didn't go to that grocery store. Well, we know otherwise.
Yeah.
So, Justin, have we beat on AirTags enough?
Yeah.
Are we ready? Is it safe to move on?
I think so.
Okay.
We gave them the beating they deserve, though.
Yes. Now, does it feel better now that like you're not in the Apple arena? Like we can't just dump on you.
Yeah.
That you can be one of us now and just dump on
Yep.
Apple as well.
Yep.
And here Dave's missing out on it. Okay, so Justin, are you a purchaser of Kindle books?
Yeah, from time to time.
Okay. How do you normally read them?
I've got a Kindle paper. It's like just a real basic black and white Kindle.
Okay, so you actually have a dedicated Kindle device. You don't like use the app on your phone.
Right.
Okay. Well, this next story won't affect you any, which is good, but for a lot of people it will. So Amazon is now making it a little harder to buy Kindle books on Android. So you will no longer be able to purchase Kindle books through the Amazon app on Android. You have to actually go to the website, buy the book, and then go back and read it. So, so for years, Apple or Amazon has set it up where you can do just that. You can buy the book straight from the Amazon store on Android, but they shut that off on Apple many years ago. And but as of this week, it has ended. So when attempting to purchase ebooks on the Amazon app for Android, you're now directed to a new screen explaining why the purchasing option is gone. If you happen to update the app, you'll see a similar note as to what you see on an iOS device that says purchasing digital products on the app is unavailable. So Amazon has pulled digital book buying from the iOS devices back in 2011. And basically, the reason Amazon's doing this is when you make a purchase through any app, whether it's Amazon or any game you play or even just anything that you make a purchase through an app on your phone, Google gets a cut of that. So, and same thing on iPhone. If you buy anything through an app on an iPhone or iPad, Apple gets a cut of that as well. So, what Amazon's doing Amazon says, hey, watch this, we will bypass that. So, what Amazon's doing now is, if you're on iPhone, this is nothing new to you. If you're on Android, this is new. If you're going to buy a book, you can go on the Amazon app, you can look at the books, you can read the descriptions, you can read the reviews, all that, but when it comes time to purchase, you have to actually go to the website, make the purchase, and then go back into the app and start reading the ebook. And this was just all decision on Amazon's part to bypass paying Google their cut.
Have they had squabbles in the past, Google and Amazon?
I think Google has changed their policies here lately, and they are being a little more stringent on making sure they get their piece of the pie. So a lot of these companies are trying to find their workarounds for it, and Amazon goes, hey, we already had this set up, we'll just turn this one switch off.
Yeah. The way it's set up is pretty much any time money changes hands, whether it be for a Kindle title or an app itself, they're taking a cut.
Yeah. Yeah, basically a digital purchase inside the app.
Yeah.
Google has their hand in saying, hey, we made this purchase possible. We want our cut. And then Amazon's going, go make money off somebody else.
Yeah.
We're tired of playing ball and making money and paying you. So I was surprised to actually see this, but when I first read the headline, I thought, oh no, they had a falling out with Android. They're pulling their app and all that. And then when I read what it was, it's like, it's one of those. Yeah, it's an inconvenience, but I can kind of see. But I don't necessarily agree with it, because Google is letting you host your app on their servers, use their bandwidth, but yet you're telling Google, you know what? Appreciate you sending business my way, but I'm not paying you your money.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a toss-up.
Yeah. This wouldn't apply to like physical items you purchase on the Amazon app and have shipped to your house.
No. Right. All that stays the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the way I've always done it anyways, is on a computer on the Amazon side.
And then just
make a Kindle purchase right there.
So it'll be interesting to see, and I'm going to guess, this is pure speculation on my part, but I'm going to say unless Google doubles down and says, no, you will pay us, that this is pretty much going to be a done deal, because Amazon did it to Apple in 2011, and here we are 11 years later, and just now doing it to Android. So it had a good run, but just pretty much expect this to be the normal now.
Yeah.
Or it could be Amazon's way of helping boost Kindle sales.
These tech companies, why can't y'all just get along?
Exactly.
Play nice. Everybody just be nice to each other.
Yeah, it's one of those, you know what? Google and Amazon are in two different businesses. Why can't you all just get along? You are not competing against each other, other than, okay, the Fire Stick and the Chromecast. I get that. But it's like, the biggest majority of your all's money that's coming in are in two completely different setups.
Yep.
Why can't you just get along and you just make our lives easier as end users?
Yeah, and you see it all the time. I have with apps. They're like, well, why isn't this working as well as it should? It seems like it's always, well, because you're using it on a device that, like using a Google type thing on an iPhone, or or through the issues with like the App Store versus Play, and I had some stuff on Google Play Movies or something like that, and they're just on an iPhone. Yeah, you're not allowed to cast it to your Chromecast just cause taking that convenience away from
it. Just because we can, we don't feel like it.
They don't like you using that other thing.
Yeah, it's just like, really, you just want to pull your hair out at that point.
Yeah.
So that is all we have on Amazon. So we're changing things up today. Justin actually has a review. So Justin, what are you reviewing today?
Well, this is my second week using the Samsung Galaxy S21, which has been, total 180 from using an iPhone for many, many years, and got Android and took it on the road with me. Used it to keep myself from going crazy on the plane ride, watching Netflix, YouTube, listening to podcasts, and taking some pictures at the wedding and all that good stuff.
Yeah, you actually gave it an excellent stress test. You traveled clear across the country just to test out your phone for us.
Last week the review was kind of how easy was it to migrate over, and I literally 98 to 99% of everything that was on the iPhone I was able to move over real easily using the physical cable, like a USB-C to Lightning adapter, and just boom, boom, about 10-15 minutes, and all my contacts, photos, all that good stuff. The only thing that didn't move over, which makes sense, is Apple Podcasts. All that stuff didn't translate over to Google Podcasts.
Yes, you have to actually go back and find your podcast
Yeah.
and add those manually.
Resubscribe to all the ones that I wanted, which was fine because there were some that I was like, yeah, I don't need to read. I never listened to that anyway, so kind of cleaned house with that.
Yeah, it's a good way to, yeah. Because
Do I really care about that one anymore? No.
yeah, and I don't know what it is with podcast apps, because I use a podcast app called Beyond Pod, and I just use it because that was the first one I used on Android, and I've used it for years. But when I switched to phones, the app transferred, but the episodes and the show lists feeds, those didn't transfer. Like I had to literally go find them manually and add them again. And it's like that's a little pain in the butt on my part, but like I said, it's a good time to weed out the ones that you don't listen to.
Yeah. Yeah, and I thought maybe there'd be some weird, like, getting used to how things are laid out and where do you find features that you're used to accessing quickly and might take longer on a new phone. But really, I mean, these smartphones nowadays, they kind of all do the same thing, just in a slightly different way.
Yeah.
I had the physical home button they'd click down before, and now it's all on the screen.
Yeah, so going from a physical button to a screen on mode, have you had any?
Just a couple days of reaching for that and feeling the button that wasn't there. I had to look down because kind of developed that muscle memory where you could just double click it without looking at it, and now you're kind of looking down and say, okay, where's my home button? There it is. A couple little things here and there which I might be able to find a way to. Just haven't figured out how to do them yet on the new phone. It's like if there's iPhone had just a real easy swipe up from the bottom, which had some basic controls like pause and play on your podcast app.
Yeah.
And then also brightness of the screen up and down. And I haven't found how to do those yet on
You
the
should be
Android.
able to swipe down from the top, and that should pull those up. That'll
I'm
pull
not
down.
hearing anything in my headphones. Me either.
That was us earlier trying to test. But if you do that, that'll give you your screen brightness. Yeah, that's your screen brightness, and then it'll show your notifications. If you swipe down again at the top there.
Now, take a look here.
Okay.
I don't see the screen brightness on that.
Okay, so if you just go right here, then swipe down again. Yeah, right here's your screen brightness right here.
All right. There. See? Thank you, Joe. That was bugging me for a minute because I'd have to actually go to settings and then display and then move it up and down.
Well, what's nice is when you swipe down the first time, that's your notifications window.
Gotcha.
So then when you see your notifications, you can just swipe right and just clear those notifications out. So if you wanted, you have to swipe down twice to get that screen.
Yeah.
And you can turn your Wi-Fi off and on and your flashlight and all that. And then you can swipe back up one, and that'll show you your notifications again.
Yeah.
And then you can actually just go through and individually swipe left to right to remove those notifications if you don't want those notifications there.
Yep.
And if you're listening to a podcast, that'll, in the notifications bar there, it will actually show you your play and pause and fast forward and rewind buttons for your podcast.
Okay. I see YouTube.
Now, if there's an X beside, you may have to actually hit the physical X.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do a quick test run here. Oh yeah, it's right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Good deal. Yeah, I'm on the plane, just wanting to make sure my battery is going to last the whole plane ride. So obviously I wanted to quickly go in and, you know what, this brightness is a little higher than it needs to be. Let's turn it down to save battery. And
Right.
the whole trip I was doing it the other way, like 4 or 5 different clicks to get there. So
Now, with the, well, I'm going to kind of steer off path here. With the airline that you flew on, did you have in-flight Wi-Fi, or did you just download your movies before you left?
I did a download before I left.
Okay.
They may have offered it, but I just
Well,
decided not to mess with it.
Okay, I was going to say, because I know some airlines do, some don't. And from a security standpoint, I get a little paranoid when on public Wi-Fi networks anyway. So I just kind of steer clear anyway.
Yeah, then let's see. some pictures.
Oh, wow.
Good color. Good. Everything looks good.
No, that's not good color. That's great color.
Yeah. So I'm happy with the camera. Did a quick little video here and there. Here's might get a kick out of this one.
Wow. Yeah, I would take a picture of that sign too.
Yeah.
And you know it's one of those, they would not put that sign up unless they had the situation.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And so I'm not going to go in great detail.
No.
But Justin took a picture of a sign that was, I'm going to assume that was by a pool.
At the hotel, yeah.
That if you had a certain type of illness and it's not
gastrointestinal.
Yeah, it's perfect.
The medical term.
Yeah, gastrointestinal issues. Actively or within the last 14 days, please don't visit the pool.
Yeah. Oh man.
Wow. Now that is one meeting I would love to have sat in to hear the start of the conversation. Somebody go, "Hey, I got a question. We need a sign, and this is what it needs to say." And they go, "Why do we need that sign?" Because last Tuesday, we had this person that came into the pool with this issue.
Yeah.
So then my question would be, was this like a one-time occurrence that they put the sign up, or was there like enough repetitive times that they go, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
We've had this happen in the last 10 times in the last 6 months. We need to put a sign up.
Yeah. There's kind of playing around a little bit with the camera. Let's see. They have some quick zoom options. I don't know. Do you ever use like slow-mo video or some of the different
I haven't used
modes?
it on my new phone. On my old phone, I had the slow motion, and I think I've used it like twice.
Right.
For me, that's not a big seller.
Okay, in the camera, there's photo, video options, and then there's a button that says more, and there's one called AR Doodle Pro Panorama.
Okay, now I have played. It's been a while since I've played it with that, but that AR stuff, that stuff's cool.
It's augmented reality. That's
Yeah,
what that
like
means.
if I stand over there against that wall, you can pull that up, and on the Pixel, at one point, like they had Star Wars figures. So literally, you can have it set up to like you're standing literally right beside Darth Vader.
Ah, yeah, it stays there.
Yeah.
It's like a Cheeto or something I just drew. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Now, if you want to have some real fun, see if you can find the add-ons for it. Like I said, there was Star Wars, and then there was Marvel figures. Like there was one like with the Incredible Hulk. You could be standing beside the Incredible Hulk, and
okay.
Well, and someone would pick up like if you just put Darth Vader against that wall and walked up to it, like he'd go, "Stop! You're too close." I was like, "No, that's cool." Like it would actually pick up and interact with you on the phone.
Huh.
And you can take pictures or actually shoot video with that.
Dual recording, you know what that is?
Almost recording with both cameras.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, some new things to play with here on the camera. That hyperlapse. I did one of those. Just wasn't sure what it was. A seagull went by and I did a hyperlapse of them, but it didn't really turn out too well.
Yeah, the augmented reality stuff. A few years ago, Cena and I went in with a friend of ours, and we had a surplus store. And on Star Wars Day, I had set up on my phone, you could do Star Wars characters. So we did a little promo where people come down and get their picture taken with Star Wars characters for free.
Mm-hmm.
And people come in and go, "Hey," and they'd come in and they'd look around and go, "Hey, where's the figures and all that?" I was like, "Just stand right there." I said, "It's on my phone." And they just looked at me like, "Yeah, right, you're crazy."
Yeah.
And I told them, I said, "Just stand right here." And I said, "What figures do you want?" And they told me.
Yeah.
And I'd put it on the picture, and I'd take the picture and show it to them and go, "That's cool." Like they had never seen anything. I was like, well, I didn't go spend thousands of dollars on props. It's like, no, it's all right here, and nobody's none the wiser.
Yeah, because the technology allows it to look pretty realistic. It's not like just a generic picture pasted over a photo. It's like it's actually there in the room with you.
Yeah, you can adjust the height to make it look like it's right beside you or behind you or in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty neat stuff to play with.
Yeah. Wow. What and is part of that you need like the 3 lenses on the back? I'm just noticing.
No, that's been around for a few years. The lenses is part of your camera setup. So now you have the is it the S21 5G?
Or FE maybe?
Okay, S21 FE 5G.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have the tech specs on that, and it comes with a 6.4-inch screen, a 12 megapixel rear camera, 4,000 milliamp hour battery, and 8 gigs of RAM. So let's look at the camera, and it'll shoot in 8K resolution, video
Wow.
resolution.
Yeah.
Okay, so the camera lenses. The one lens is a 12 megapixel ultra wide lens.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is a 12 megapixel wide angle camera. And the last one is a 64 megapixel telephoto lens.
Yeah, so just for different types of pictures that you're doing,
Yes.
a lot of zoom versus if you're just doing kind of
Yeah, you literally have
a sunset
a
picture.
very wide
Yeah.
angle to a very
Huh.
close up angle.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to taking more pictures with it. You know, sometimes I like.
I was going to say the pictures you showed and you had posted on your Facebook, I mean, those are beautiful. They look, if I didn't know that those were taken with your phone, I would assume those were taken with an SLR,
Right.
digital,
Mm-hmm.
Professional grade camera.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. 64 megapixel. Is that what you said? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big upgrade for me. It's the camera, and I like definitely looking forward to using that in the future.
Yeah, I have to say I am immensely impressed with the picture of that ocean scene. Now that picture of the ocean scene, that could be a desktop wallpaper. It's
Mhm.
such the blues. I mean,
Oh yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah, it did a pretty good job of capturing. Yeah, because in real life, the same thing. You're like, this is crazy. The ocean has like 4 different types of blue colors in it.
Yeah, yeah. You would think it just one shade, but that
Yeah.
camera picked up
Yeah.
shades of blue. There just wasn't blue water. There are shades of it.
Yeah, the plane ride, you know, on airplane mode, which is going to save you some battery, but I mean, still over 4 hours, no problem. You know, the battery held up the entire trip while, you know, watching a Netflix video for an hour and a half, 2 hours of that. And so yeah, with no portable charger needed, I was able to get on the plane and stay entertained the whole way out there and back.
Nice. All right, so are you ready to throw some pros and cons?
Yeah, sure. I hadn't thought about it ahead of time, but yeah, let's do it. I mean, the pros, we were just talking about the camera. I mean, great, and I think I've only just started to see how much that can do, just with some initial pictures I took at the ocean there, and those turned out great. The camera's good. A lot of those cool little extra features that you just showed me with the AR and the dual recording, and just some neat little extra camera features.
Yeah, the AR stuff. Once you get hang with that, the preschool kids,
Mm-hmm.
you can have a ball with that.
Yeah.
That if you find the right AR app or AR gadgets or add-ons to go with that, you can have some fun with that.
Yeah, get Baby Yoda in a picture with the kids.
Yeah.
They go crazy for that. The build quality, it seems great. That's a pro. Pretty much same size screen as I had before, and just very sleek. Seems solidly well built.
Now, I don't see a fingerprint reader. Is there one? Is it like built into the screen, or?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is a way to do that. I haven't set it up yet. But
Okay.
yeah. I think you could do it just right with the screen.
Okay. Because I know mine's like almost to the bottom of the screen, but not quite,
Mhm.
and I'm having issues with that. But that's another story for another day. We're not talking about that. We're talking about your phone.
Yeah. Maybe one small gripe was my sister and I were in the car driving, and on Mother's Day, called Mom up and had her on speakerphone. And this may not be a fault of the cell phone, because her landline, sometimes, as you know, these landlines here in Spencer,
Yeah.
you can kind of sound like you're in a tunnel or something.
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah. Shout out to Frontier and their low quality phone lines on that.
Yeah, I had the volume maxed out and could hear Mom reasonably well, but as far as like my sister and I were both, in the front seat talking to her, I would kind of have to point the phone over towards her.
Okay.
Otherwise, if I was holding it close to me, she could hear me fine. And then I figured, we're both right here, very close.
Right.
If my sister wanted to ask her something, she was like, "What?" I couldn't quite hear that, so I had to actually physically.
No, I think that, as much as I love to throw Frontier under the bus, and believe me, I'll do that at a drop of a hat. I think that might be the speaker in the phone itself.
Right.
Because with my old phone, I would hop in the truck. I'd hop in my truck and I would set my phone down on the center console and just call Cena and start talking to her. And the first words out of her mouth, "I can't hear you."
Mm-hmm.
And I'd have to talk louder or hook it up to my Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah.
To make it work. So I think that might have actually been a flaw in the phone.
Yeah. In terms of the speakerphone picking up a telephone call, it seems like you got to have it reasonably close to your face. It wasn't picking it up, and maybe that's good, so it doesn't pick up a bunch of background noise and stuff. But yeah, kind of would have liked, for two people in the front seat, if you could hear them both fine. That would have been nice.
Yeah, kind of inconvenient when when you need
Doing
to
this.
do hands free, but the person on the other end can't hear you. So
Yeah. And I think if I would have rigged it up through the Bluetooth in the rental car, it probably would have worked totally fine. But in that one situation, there was a little bit of, the brand new phone, and Mom's like, "What? Can't hear you." I'm like, "Man, I thought this would be no problem whatsoever." But
you're not it's kind of a tough testing scenario in that point, because you don't know if it's the new phone or the location where you're at or the bad phone lines on the other end.
Right. A lot of factors there.
Yeah.
Yep. I'd say the phone volume overall is like pretty good. I wouldn't give it a negative or anything for that. I think, watching Netflix or something, you don't need the full volume. That would be like too loud.
Really good.
So, and pretty impressed with the sound quality overall. It's almost seems to have a little bit of I don't know, it's definitely a rich sound. It's not, doesn't sound like coming out of a cheap speaker.
It doesn't give that tin can
Right.
sound.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, I was watching a little bit of Netflix last night with it, just playing through the speaker on the phone. The other thing which you helped me figure out, so I can't ding it on that, was just that ease of access, quick little one swipe controls of screen brightness.
Yeah. Well, and that's just one of those. That's kind of just a learning curve going from
Mhm.
Apple to Android. So I mean, that's nothing to ding you or the phone about. That's just it's part of the learning curve.
Yeah, if there was like no way to do that, I would definitely ding it.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah, because I use mine on a daily basis.
It has the adaptive screen brightness, but I feel like my experience was that was a little brighter than I needed it to be.
Well, and I always turn the adaptive screen brightness off, because that'll actually eat up more battery.
Yeah.
Because it's sitting there constantly trying to adjust.
Uh-huh.
So that's one of the first things I always turn off, because it just eats up your battery life.
Yeah, having an easy one swipe way to quickly access the play and pause and the screen brightness. Yeah, that was something I thought maybe I was missing, but I'm not. So,
Have you lined out now?
yeah, it's very few dings on this one so far.
All right, great.
Yep.
So you want to give it a rating? So how are we going to rate this? Are you going to give it a 1 to 5, 1 to 10, or a thumbs up, thumbs
I
down?
think-
How are we going to rate this?
We'll go 1 to 5.
Okay.
I think with this, rather than me say, 4 stars and we'll feel it out and make sure. I say, starting high, and then if later on down the road I can ding it and take it down to 4 if I need to. But
Okay.
we're going 5 on this one. That's
Wow.
gold star.
Oh, so this is getting Justin's stamp of approval.
Yep.
Wow. This is one. Is this your first or
Yeah.
one of your few Justin's stamp of approval?
This is, usually I'm throwing something under the bus, but.
I'm gonna say, is this your first
Yep.
Justin stamp? Here it is. It's
Yep.
official. Justin's stamp of approval right there.
Yep. Yeah, super well made. You can tell this thing has tons of power to do all sorts of stuff with it, high quality videos and.
Well, Samsung they don't go cheap on their electronics.
Right.
And as far as quality goes, Samsung's right there with Apple.
Mm-hmm.
My only personal beef with Samsung, and it's not so much Samsung, it's with any of the Android manufacturers other than the Pixel, is a lot of the manufacturers like to add their versions of apps and stuff like that. And for me personally, I find that being a pain in the neck, because instead of using these apps that come with Android itself, they go, oh no, our apps are better, and I'm going, well then why can't I do this, this, and this on your app when the general Android app does this, 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 and more?
What sort of apps? Like photos?
Well,
Or-
the photo, and like instead of using Google Chrome, like they'll have the Samsung browser.
Yeah. That's one thing I did notice, and I kind of just threw a bunch of Samsung stuff all in its own folder. Because, they got all sorts of stuff that I'm like, I don't know if I want to mess with Samsung Health and, like you said, the Samsung Internet browser,
Well, and like they have the
Samsung Pay,
Yeah, the Samsung App Store.
Samsung Calendar, Samsung Notes, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, Google already has all that. Oh, one thing I am going to ask you.
Yeah.
Do you get a lot of spam calls?
I now have gotten 0.
Okay.
I didn't even think of that.
Before on your iPod, did you?
Yeah.
Okay. We could set
Since
this
the
up.
Switch, I haven't gotten one. I just realized that.
Okay.
You said it.
I will say, if you do, let me know,
Mhm.
because I can show you how we set up Dave's phone, and I have my phone set up with the Google Phone app,
Mhm.
and it has that telemarketer filter built in, which should help cut down a lot of that.
All right. It did ship with a couple of just random apps, so I had to spend 5 minutes deleting like casino, I don't know, just weird games and stuff that
Yeah.
just came with it that I didn't need.
Yeah, that's just more nonsense that just drives me nuts. It's like, it's not needed.
There are
And-
probably 10 apps that I'm like, there's no reason for this to be on here, but it just came with it.
Right, and it's just like a computer. A lot of computers from manufacturers have all that fluff add-on stuff that these companies are paying these manufacturers to put on there, but you as the user, it's a pain in the neck, because most people aren't going to play those games and apps. Some people may, some people don't, but for the majority of them, most of them don't.
Yeah, and during the initial setup too, that it would go to a screen where they're kind of trying to nudge you to use something that you have to, they make the button, no, I don't want to use this, real small, and
Yeah,
they want to try to trick you into getting set up with something.
Yeah, they have this nice big button that says yes, and then in the corner they just have this little dot
Yeah.
that says no. And if you're not paying attention, you just go, yeah, and not pay attention, and literally all this stuff starts popping up. It's like, where'd this come from? And you look, yeah, that was what you agreed to, that nice big yes button and that little dot that
Yep.
you didn't see.
Yep.
That was it.
Yep. And yeah, I guess if I wasn't on the lookout for stuff like that, and I did end up getting signed up for something I didn't want, I probably would ding it a little bit more. But pretty easy to, if you know what to look out for, easy to avoid that stuff.
Right.
Slight annoyance, but maybe not going to take a star away just for that.
Great. So
Yep.
I'm very impressed with the device itself, with the picture quality that you showed me, and that it gets a 5-star
Yeah.
Justin stamp of approval. Very impressive, sir.
Yeah, we'll keep testing it, and like for Patch doing a live stream video or something, as long as that goes smoothly, and just little things I throw at it going forward, as long as it's able to do all those well, it's going to keep the 5-star. But
I was gonna say that with your job, the way with what all your job entails, you will put it to great lengths.
mm-hmm.
So this will be a good stress test for it.
Yeah. Yeah. We did the the Christmas parade. I did that with my iPhone, and I wasn't like thrilled with the video quality.
Right.
I think it would have been about twice as good with this one.
Oh yeah, it's going. Yeah, you're switching night and day.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to bash your old iPhone. It's just the camera quality over the years
Yeah.
has improved. Well, what did I say? The camera quality was it
Yeah, but interesting to compare.
4K, 8K video?
Like the 6S compared to this camera, it's probably night and day.
Okay, yeah, it shoots in 8K quality. So which phone did you have, Justin? The iPhone?
Yep, 6S.
6S camera. Okay.
12 megapixel.
Yeah. With the front 5 megapixel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let me look up.
About a 5-fold increase in megapixels.
Okay, so the 6S, give you an idea, the 6S would record in 1080p. 8K is 8 times that.
Yeah. Yep.
Hence why your pictures look the way they do.
Yeah. Yep. It had a good run. I'm not gonna bash it too much. I mean, especially for how it was still functional.
Yeah.
That many years later.
Yes.
So you got to give it something for that, but
Yeah.
at the same time, recognize that
Yeah, it was starting to try to last as long as the iPods.
20-year run on my phone.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So, Justin, is there anything else you need or would like to cover on your new Samsung Galaxy?
Nope. Happy with it. Very happy overall. So that's it.
All right. So, did we cover all measures today, sir?
I think so.
All right. So, we want to thank you guys for joining us today. And if you are looking for more news and reviews, be sure to subscribe to our podcast. Help Desk with Joe and Dave. We're on all the major platforms. All of our episodes are hosted by Anchor.fm. And for any tech questions or anything like that, be sure to visit our website at amdigitaltechnologies.com, and or you can give us a call at 304-927-3588. And be sure to follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram at AM Digital Tech for all that. And I'm Joe McDonald, and my sidekick here, Justin Bossert. Again, Dave's out this week, so we're left minding the store, and hopefully we can get Dave back in studio next week, and this little magic box of audio stuff will just work magically on its own next week, and Justin and I can just sit down and do what we do best, give Dave a hard time. And we'll catch you all next week on the next episode of Help Desk with Joe. Help Desk with Joe and Dave. Have a good week.